Hello viewers, good evening. Welcome again this lecture series. Today I am going to make a short video on feminism and feminist literary theory. First of all, we have to make a clear sense what is feminism. Feminism means related to women. In Indian context, women is Ardhangani, half of the world of anyone. And in Western culture, it is the partner. There are many theory and many there are many theory and many discuss, but we are not going to on other discuss. The title and theme of the lecture is that feminism. So first we have to understand what is a woman. Women is a mysterious thing and one cannot be understand clearly, sharply, intellectually, but the other dimension as a thing of commodity, as a subject, as we treated in our culture, her condition is very generalized, marginalized, and you can say that the condition of women in India is downtrodden and piteous. Today, the institution of family is shrinking, and the institution of marriage is going to lose its control. And it seems that the institution of marriage has shaken severely. But these are the general thing. In a specific, this lecture is based on literature, so I will only discuss the term literally. So the point is that it was not an easy task to convince the patriarchal society to give women the same rights and opportunities as men. Women struggle for ages and have been fighting for almost centuries for their rights. The term feminism highlights their oppression, and this term has been used in every campaign that call to abolish women's suffering during the last decade of the 19th century. Feminism is one of the most influential movement and dynamic philosophy in history, for it made an impact on literary works, politics, and all aspects of society. It started before the 1960s with major literary works such as Mary Wollstonecraft's A Vindication of Rights of Women, Oliver Schreiner's Women and Labor, Virginia Woolf, A Room of One's Own, and Simone de Beauvoir, The Second Sex. Feminism can be described in a series of waves. What was here discussed is the nature of the difference between two genders, the relation between cultural symbol and material process, and the unconscious reproduction of patriarchy. The first wave of feminism started with Simone de Beauvoir, The Second Sex. Beauvoir's major work criticized male dominance and exposed sexism. Although it was not originally meant to be written as a feminist text, it reflects a profound understanding of women's desire and needs. It rejects the notion of an eternal feminine nature as the determiner of women's fate. In this sense, women's subordination referred to their inferior position of women, their lack of access to resources and decision making. This was a situation in most societies. The work remained one of the most influential work for contemporary feminists. Literature was the main source that indicate what was an acceptable representation of femininity. During the 1970s, feminist criticism explored the mechanism of patriarchy and the cultural mindset and resulted in sexual inequality. It delves into work of literature and tries to analyze them through a feminist lens to uncover truth, to uncover truths hidden in the work and question such as misogyny or patriarchal dominance. It was a consequence of the women's movement of 1960s, and it helped realize the significance of the images of women promoted by literature. One of the most prominent feminist critics is Ellen Saul Walter. She discussed the history, style, genre, and structure of women writing as well as psychodynamics of female creativity. So Walter divides literary work into two categories: gynotext, books by women, and androtext, books by men. Critics like Saw Walter study literary text through a realist lens and treat literature as a series of realities. They researched written diaries, memories, and social and medical history. Another important feminist critic is Virginia Woolf. Her main theory is based on a statement that language is gendered. She argues that the characteristics of women's sentence are the clause are linked in looser sequence rather than carefully balanced and patterned as in male prose. When taking a closer look at the wide range of literary texts, we can notice that her theory is accurate. Finally, Helen Cox was also interested in the feminist analysis of literary text, and she ranks as one of the most important feminist critics of her era. She introduced two main concepts concerning feminist criticism: a curature feminine and the laugh of Medusa. A curature feminine or feminine writing is a theory expressing that writing is the product of female physiology and women should celebrate in their writing. Women must write through their bodies and invent a language that will wreak classes, rules, regulations, and codes, laughing at the very idea of silence. It is transgressive and rule transcending. In her text, The Laugh of the Medusa, Cox compared Medusa to powerful female characters in literary works. In her theory, these powerful women are aware of their power and are not afraid to use it against patriarchal dominance. However, in most literary texts, these women end up being exiled or persecuted because they are feared. Men prefer women when they are nothing but their weak subordinate and despise anything that defies their authority. In conclusion, feminist criticism help us reinterpret old texts and view them from a modernized lens. It adheres to portraying women from a new perspective and establishes the importance of female representation in literature. It contributes to breaking gender stereotypes and archaic idea of feminine while shedding the light on the history of female subjugation under patriarchal norms. In addition, it helps us take a closer look at women's realities, whether social, economic, or political. Feminists have undergone numerous obstacles throughout their journey to claim their freedom and rights. Feminism is connected with feminist criticism since they both grew simultaneously and depended on one another. Feminist criticism is a constant reminder for us that women are men are still unequal in society. It raises awareness and aids us to fight discrimination one step at a time. Thank you very much. If this video is supportive for you, please like, share and comment. Thank you very much.